Come one, come all, step right up to the Little Carnival. If you love to hate the reality TV shows on the TLC network, get it, TLC, the Little Carnival, then this is the podcast for you. And now, your hosts, stars of the Uglee Truth podcast, it's the Uggs.
This is the Little Carnival, sponsored by the Uggs of the Uglee Truth. I'm Jamie with Paula.
Hello.
So the Little Carnival is a 15-minute mini podcast to talk about one of the reality TV shows on the TLC network, because we are kind of obsessed with the TLC choices because they seem to be a bit exploitive to all kinds of unusual folks in the world. And we were spending a fairly amount of time on our Uglee Truth podcast talking about those reality television shows. And producer Dub, who will also be producing this show, found it to be a little too lengthy. And he said, hey, everybody likes reality TV or they hate reality TV. So why don't you just turn it into a mini podcast? And we agreed. And so because we call it the Little Carnival because of TLC, we decided let's call the podcast the Little Carnival Podcast. For the first episode, we're going to kind of wing it. So I'm kind of calling our show Season 1, Episode 1. Because we don't really know. It's kind of open-ended. We don't know how many episodes. We're not really sure how many seasons until it gets canceled. We're not sure. So we'll just see how the pilot one goes and move on from there. So our first show that we're going to dish about today is 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days. There are 2 seasons. I did not watch season 1. I have only invested a amount of time in season 2. Now, the show description I'm going to read, just so in case you hadn't heard about it. You're following couples who have an existing relationship online but haven't met in person. We'll experience their journey as they travel to the other's foreign country for the first time in an attempt to establish an in-person relationship and start the K-1 visa process. A K-1 visa is issued to a fiancé of a United States citizen. You have to get married within 90 days of the issuance of said visa so that you can stay in the country, or you have to leave. Namely, the show. This is the citizen of the United States going to the foreign country to meet this person before the whole 90-day thing starts, which I actually didn't really understand. Mm-hmm. Now I understand. So
this is just basically 3 months before they're willing to claim them.
Exactly.
And then allow them to come to the United States.
Right. And, let's be real. Most of these countries, the desire to leave them and go to the United States is high.
Sure.
The 3 couples that I had some interest in were John and Rachel. He lives in the UK, some part of London, outskirts of England somewhere. Angela and Michael, which is, like I told you, they're like the stars of the show.
I've seen them.
Angela is from the South and Michael is from Nigeria, and they are very, very different people. The other one that I want to talk about is Ricky and Jimena. She lives in Colombia. So which couples are you, of these 3, but is it just Angela and Michael that you're aware of?
Yes, those are the only ones that I saw, and it's kind of sad to watch because you almost want to show her the video of what's happening.
Yeah.
To open her eyes.
Yes.
These people are just getting played so badly.
Did you see the video of them kissing and Michael took out a tissue and wiped his mouth?
No.
Yes. He practically spit after she kissed him. I don't know the process of what's going on. I do realize there were some issues with her banking. Is he a Nigerian prince?
Yeah,
suddenly?
really.
And now she has no money. And apparently there is you know how they do the Real Housewives where they do the reunion show?
Yeah.
Apparently there's some kind of follow-up reunion show. I think it posted earlier this week. I haven't seen it. But they were quote unquote engaged. And he said he called her his elder.
What?
Because she's older. So he goes, she's my elder. She's my elder woman. And she's like, I am not your elder. And she ripped off the engagement ring and threw it at him. And I think it's just getting ready to carry them over into season 3. So I'm not sure how much of that is real, but he clearly finds her unattractive, and she is. The Honey Boo Boo thing has just taken over that channel.
Yes.
They find the most hideous people they can and say, hey, you want to be famous? And then they just, I have a really hard time with it.
First of all, the fact that they had like a dating site for foreigners, I guess,
for people who want to come to the United States,
looking to, marry Americans. I didn't realize that was like a thing.
Well, I mean, mail order brides have been a thing forever.
Yeah, but that's something like guys do or did, like in the, I don't know.
Well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
So
yeah, I know. Well, I mean, think about all the women that in Vietnam, all the women that came over with soldiers.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's very, as bad as people think it is here, people are basically literally dying to get in this country because it's better than anywhere else. So it's not surprising that there are people trying to make money off of it, And these people that are, quote unquote, in love with people from other lands, they are not very desirable. There's a reason why they're going out of the country to find a partner.
Right.
They can't possibly be that naive. I mean, that's just not possible.
Well, I mean, they might talk a pretty good game. I don't know.
I don't know, man. So John and Rachel was the first one that kind of drew me in because initially I thought, now John was the UK guy. Rachel is from the United States. She lived in Arizona.
That's like the closest match because UK, US, like very similar.
Right. And so I was watching that and he played rugby and stuff, but he's also like, Paula, he's like 5 feet tall.
I had that happen to me once.
Or you met someone online and then they're like,
yeah, we met at a bar and the guy in the picture was really cute and he was on a surfboard. And when I went to the bar, the guy I met was not very cute and he was like 5'1".
Woo, that's something you need to, I think that's something that you should say.
And so he's like, well, do you want me to buy you a drink? And I'm like, no. I'm like, you lied on your picture. And he's like, well, you don't look anything like your picture either. I'm like, bullshit, I so do. I didn't lie.
Bullshit, I so do. Yeah, so John and Rachel, now there's been a lot of controversy about a lot of these couples off of the show. There are all these rumors because Rachel had a baby. And when they met online, she was pregnant with the baby.
Why would you do that?
Paula, this is so creepy. Okay, let's just say for the sake that there's no rumors that this is actually his baby, which is the rumor. So she's pregnant. She broke up with the dad of the baby, who is also happens to be the father of her 4-year-old. So she wasted no time getting online trying to meet another person. And so that's something to judge, of course. So she meets this guy. He's in the UK. They FaceTimed the birth. He was next to her on the phone while she was pushing that baby out.
That's gross.
Thank you. And so he FaceTimes with them. The baby knows who this person is. And so there was all these rumors that the baby was actually his and that they were just trying to get on the show for whatever reason, because people are fame whores. And so that's been always the thing. I know there was they tried to create some drama about he couldn't stay in the United States or something like that. End of the day, they get married. They're married.
Oh.
So now you can follow them on Instagram or Facebook. And of course, they have a joint social media account.
Oh, they're one of those.
They're one of those people. So it worked out for them, but the rumors were that they were actually a couple before the show and that they just kind of created this storyline so they could be on the show.
I just wonder if these programs don't vet people before they put them on camera.
I don't think so. I mean, now the other one, Ricky and Jimena. Ricky, I can't remember where he's from, somewhere in the United States. Jimena was from Colombia. He wooed her and he went over there. And then the producers found out that he was still married. And so he spent the night with her. They had sex. And I saw this part. In the morning, they're sitting in this beautiful hotel in Colombia, looking over the ocean. And he has to tell her that it is true that he has a wife, but they're separated. How many times has that line been told? I can't even tell you. And she starts crying because she's like, well, you used me physically and emotionally. He's like, no, but he goes, she was plan A, but now you're plan A. And I'm like, this dude isn't even that cute. He's fat. And I mean, let's be real. He's Latin. And so we all know what that means.
Well, and not only that, he can't marry her.
He can't. Yeah, exactly. So she's screwed. Mm-hmm. And so according to the research I did, he and his wife are actually living in different residences. And he did the same thing to a woman in Canada because he was trying to get back on the show for another season.
God.
Jimena actually, obviously, she ended things. She's actually going to school in Florida now. So she got out of Columbia.
Good.
And she got accepted to a college here. So she's actually totally on her own, doing great. And boy, did she dodge a bullet.
Seriously.
This show is a hot mess. Hot mess. And then I just read that Angela, the one that's in quote unquote love with the Nigerian.
Yeah.
She was in a DUI recently with some guy who got pulled out of a drain.
Oh, God.
She is a nightmare. And I'm like, dude, stay in Nigeria. Just don't even.
He must be like really desperate to get here.
He must be, but he's so disgusted by her. And I don't know how he's doing. You know what? She showed up. And then that's the thing, Paula. When she shows up at the airport, you saw her, right? Running like a hippo. If I saw that coming toward me, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I was like, where do they find these people? I just don't even know.
Wow.
That's my sister. No, it's not. I don't want to hear it. If that is your sister, you are not listening. You are not listening to us. You wouldn't dare. So anyway, So 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days. Do you have any thoughts?
It's another strange, niche of a show that I shouldn't be shocked, but I am a little surprised that, this is a thing. And I know people watch it, and I've watched it just, to be in the know. And it blows my mind that this little nest egg exists.
As horrifying as the Little Carnival is, the TLC channel with their reality shows, with their exploitiveness, this one seems the most National Inquiry.
Yeah. Just
finding these little pieces of dingleberry humans and putting them on television. It seems it seems immoral, but I think people watch it. I think they love to see people worse off than they are. And I think that's why they watch it. It's like, can you imagine being so desperate that you want to go to Nigeria? I think that's why people like to watch, is that they're worse off than they are. So it feels gratifying in a way. It's like, well, at least we're not that desperate, Or
you try and figure out like who's legit and who's not.
That might be another part of it. It's like trying to figure out who's legitimately looking for love and who it just got put on the show to cause a stir. I don't know. Or somebody wants to be the next Honey Boo Boo or something. I'm sure that's what it is.
Where's the donkey? Is it behind door number 1? Door number 2?
Yes. With that being said, I don't think that I will be revisiting 90 Days before the 90 days. I'm not engrossed. I'm more of a polygamous gal.
Yes.
So I think when those start coming around, the Duggars, I'm getting ready to revisit the Duggars so we can talk about that next time. Mm-hmm. What do you watch? Well, you like the Hoarders and the 600-pound life people.
I do. I do like to see the transformations.
We need to talk about that.
Then there's the spin-off show from 600-pound life, Skin Tight, where they show people getting the extra skin removed.
Okay, I think that maybe we should talk about that one next time, our next 15 minutes.
Could be.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap. That's our first 15-minute mini episode of the Little Carnival podcast, sponsored by Amazon. You can go to our Uglee Truth website. This is a subset of that, and you can still support us that way. All right.
Well, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the greatest show on earth, the Little Carnival Podcast. Subscribe to The Ugly Truth on your favorite podcast player, and you'll never miss a show. Visit thelittlecarnival.com for details.